How hard it is to be successful. It's very difficult because more people would be successful if it were easy. You know, the average person can't do 100 push-ups. Now, some of you in here, you can't do 100 push-ups. But because of the fact that it's difficult, you're not gonna try? They take rocket ships, take them to the moon, orbit, bring them back, land it in the same place it took off from. You don't really think you can do the 100 push-ups? Once you get started, it's difficult. But let's say by the grace of God, somehow you get 20 cranked out. And then throw some prayer in the game, and the next thing you know, you got 40 knocked out. But you steady pressing. You're developing a strength with that pressing. And then somehow you get to 70 and you look up and everything on you shaking. Your eyes is busting out your head. You can't believe what's happening to you. You get to 80, your clothes don't look the same no more. You somehow get to 90 and it's all coming loose now through prayer in some kind of way. You just got to start. Now you're trembling. You're shaking. Everything in you is about to blow up. But you done 100 push-ups. Man, you say, wow, I did 100. I'm successful now. Well, good. Now I'm successful. What I got to do to stay successful? Hold that position. But in that mere description right there, most people go, I ain't finna try that. What got me to this position is I didn't even have the ability. And I still have struggle. But guess what? I'm holding. If he all that in a bag of chips, if he can do anything but fail, why you keep bringing up the failure? You can have a life. What I don't do is I don't put myself in Bible verses that ain't got nothing to do with me. Some of y'all always want to plug yourself into all the scriptures. Some of them scriptures is for people that don't do certain things, then this is the result. You ain't got to plug yourself in there. The poor will always be with you. It don't say the poor will always be with you, Steve. So why am I putting myself in that Bible verse? He talking about if you have faith without works is dead. He talking about if you do that. Don't put yourself in there. But if you want to justify why you poor, then you whoops that one out. Stop putting yourself. It's some Bible verses that I can't really get to. Then Peter came to him and asked, how many times must I forgive my brother who sins against me? As many as 7 times? Jesus said to him, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. I ain't in there. Ain't no need of me lying about it. I ain't in there.
From testimonials and personal experience, we have enough information to conclude that it's possible to design and live an extraordinary life. I hope you buy the idea that from testimonials and personal experience, we have enough information to conclude that it's possible to design and live an extraordinary life. Here's the first essence of life, and that is self-preservation. To produce enough to take care of yourself. 1 was to multiply. It's a lonely place with only 2 people. To be fruitful. How fruitful, how productive should one be to produce enough to survive? To produce enough to take care of yourself. If you're flying on an airplane, the flight attendant says if for some reason we run out of oxygen, these oxygen masks will fall from the ceiling. If you have children with you, quickly take care of them, then take care of yourself. No. They say what? Put your mask on first, see to your survival first, then you'll be more capable of taking care of the survival of your children. My father had an interesting saying. He said, son, right after me, you come first. I was in business with Bob Cummings, the old movie star. We were in the health and nutrition business together. Bob had an interesting saying. Here's what he said. I'll take care of me for you. Will you please take care of you, me? So the first challenge in life is to take care of yourself. It is to survive. So, to produce enough to survive. So let's say the man now chooses a partner. Now he must figure out how to produce enough for himself and and his spouse, his wife. Why not just take care of yourself? And the answer is, it's a very small life. Just taking care of yourself. That is the first rule, but the man gets married. Now he must produce enough for himself and for his wife. And here's the key phrase to make a note of: to live the higher life. A life of togetherness. The storyteller says, it seems even God didn't want to be alone. He created all of these angels.
If you want something out of life, if you want to change yourself, if there's some goal that you want to reach, that is really not easy as some people will make us feel. That living your dream, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. Once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, life is very challenging. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I say to you, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. Always something. You will never ever have a problem-free moment in life. See, you either in a problem or just left one or headed toward one. I mean, there's always something. So how do we begin to nurture that hunger? What will it take for me to get some of the things that I want? And being hungry for those things. One, you've got to work on yourself. It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process to develop you. It's very important. You owe that to yourself. I was reading a book, The University of Success. Read one line, gave me a chill. I didn't have to read anything else in the book. He said, many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. Don't know how to say no. And we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second. There goes another second. And we can't stop and hold time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills. So decide that you're going to take some time to work on you, that you deserve that. Some prime time. Because you are creating your own production. You are the star of your show. You're writing the script. And you will determine whether your life is a smash office hit or flop. Working on yourself, talking to yourself, overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time. You can't stop yourself right now from thinking. And so learning how to empower yourself. You got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up! I was going to give a presentation, and this voice inside of me saying, you can't do this, you don't have everything it takes. I shut up! I'm behind on my bills and you telling me what I can't do. You get scared sometimes. Your mind will go blank on you. That's why you got to learn to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to stand up inside yourself. Watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life. I've had a challenge of losing weight. I'm walking through the airport, this voice say, why don't you have some M&M peanuts? No! Well, just one. I mean, it's challenging. My mother fixed a kind of sweet potato pie. It says, eat it. One little bite won't hurt. That voice, little demons from Colonel Sanders driving my car in there. I had to say, no! You have got to stand up to that voice. When you're working on something you want to achieve, you have got to stand up to that voice. You've got to sell yourself every day on your abilities, on the goal that you want to reach. You've got to sell yourself every day according to your level of belief. Whatever we're demonstrating in our lives is a result of what we believe subconsciously that we deserve. You have got to convince yourself. You've got to sell yourself. I've heard all kind of guys doing techniques and training how to close sales and how to work with and begin to control the sale. Let me share something with you. You can learn all the techniques in the world. If you don't believe happen for you. Focus on the seller. You've got to focus on you. And as you convince you, as you sell yourself, every day you will begin to see a difference in the things that you're doing. Telling yourself every day, here I go again, and I got what it takes. This is my day, and nothing out here is going to stop me.
I probably cried more than the girls around me, my age. I was so expressive, so emotional, so vulnerable all the time. And then through school kids who would just be like, why are you crying? Don't be a little girl. Don't be a fag. Don't be a bitch. Don't be whatever. It's just like the conditioning of words used over and over. There's a lot of pain and suffering that I've felt my entire life. A lot of isolation, a lot of loneliness inside. And so to mask that, I was driven to achieve so I could feel accepted by other people, so I could feel like I fit in, so I could feel like people liked me. You know, I think it started as a kid when I was picked last on sports teams. I was made fun of for reading slow and being in the special needs classes in school. And all I wanted was just friends. And I think that we all want to be accepted and be seen by our peers. So for me, I was putting on masks my entire life to try to fit in. I had the weight of the world on my shoulders and constantly like my heart was palpitating. And I didn't know why. I just figured like, this is the way life is.
Yeah.
And so once I was able to let go and start opening up and talking about the things I was ashamed of and I was insecure about and that no one knew about me, that's when I was like, wow, okay, people can finally see me. Do our reactions or responses support and elevate our vision and our inner peace? And that's the way I'm framing everything. Because if our reactions or responses make us tight inside, make us feel pressure, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, frustration, rage, it takes us away from our vision. And I think a lot of people chase, there's a great quote, one of my coaches said that most people try to be the king of diamonds, when really if you try to be the king of hearts, you'll be the richest man in the world. If you just chase the money constantly, I feel like you're never going to be satisfied and fulfilled in your pursuit of business, career, whatever it may be. But when you're going into something that you really truly love, and you're partnering with people who have a passion for something because there's a purpose behind it, not just to make money. There's a deeper relationship and this bigger mission behind that, I feel like. When people actually see your heart, connect to someone, and you can look them in the eyes and have a conversation about anything, and you have nothing to hide, people will trust you and they will follow you anywhere. When you can connect to the heart, put energy and attention on something I'm upset with or triggered by, then I get stressed out and anxious and built up tension or whatever, and it pulls me away from something that could impact more people. When I focus on that one thing, the person who flipped me off or cut me off on the road or whatever it may be, looked at me funny, if I'm like, that one critic said that thing to me on out of 1,000 positive reviews, I got that one. All the attention on this one moment, it's gonna pull me away from my vision. And I think that's the key, is like, as long as you can have inner peace, stay committed to your vision, then you can achieve what you want.